Good morning, Lavanya. You yesterday asked for the revision session, so we'll start the. Okay. So first is we will discuss the responsibility creation. Okay. For responsibility creation is the part of system administrator. Okay. In the system administrator responsibility, you will have access to responsibility creation and responsibility related menu and function creation, as well as you can very well do assign the responsibilities to the user creation, profile option update, document sequencing. So first part we are checking on the system administrator. System administrator. Okay. Security responsibility. Define. Okay. So here you can define the responsibility. This form will open. On this form responsibility name, you can define the name as per your requirement. Okay. Next is the application. On the application, you select the which application this responsibility is related to. More AP, AR, GL, fixed assets, cash management, etc. Then you have the responsibility key. This is just you have to give some name. With the in this space is not allowed, so you can use the underscore. The next is the available from Oracle Forms and self-service web application or mobile application. Then data group, under which it is going to be the application and the standard module. Then you have menus. In the menu, you have to give which function, which all sets of menus and function will be available with this responsibility. Request group, if you assign this request group, you will be able to run the programs with this responsibility. So let's say if we created some responsibility, we will just go through it. AP employee supplier, IT India. Okay. This we created to create the employee as a supplier responsibility. Okay. Because this access was not available in the standard AP module, and that's the reason we have a separate menu assigned to us. That's the reason. Then second we created was the AP super user IT India. This is related to payables. In
So
this,
this is responsibility key. It should be without pages, is it?
no, there it is not allowing you to put any space. So that's the reason I have given the underscore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then you have this AP super user. Okay, I have used some standard menus and request groups and all, but it is very well possible you first customize all these details and then very well assign it to responsibilities as per the organization. Then we have cash management. We created this for cash management activity and also to do the setup for bank and bank accounts. We have GL super user. We have HRMS super user, IT India. We have inventory super user, IT India. Okay, HRMS and IT India we set up for few purposes like creating business group, updating in inventory organization and operating unit related parameters, mostly organization structure creation. And inside HRM's responsibility, we will use this to create the employees, which again will be used in the accounts payable module. Also, the employee will be used for other purposes like assignment of some activities we will do in the accounts receivable module. That part we will cover in the AR. Inventory also we used for creation of some organization structure related activity. Okay, this many responsibilities we created. The thing is, either you can create all the responsibilities first and assign it to user, or you can very well go one by one. It is better you prepare the responsibilities one by one, assign it to user, then update the profile option. So this we created the responsibilities for our purpose. Then what we did, we assigned these responsibilities to user. If you see, we assign all these responsibilities to our users. Okay. This field is case sensitive, and that's the reason we see these two responsibility, because it is IT India is written in caps, and that's the reason it is not showing with the small letters. Okay, these responsibilities we created with this user, and we created also employee in the HRMS responsibility. So now we will see what we did after this. So we completed responsibility creation. Second is the user creation and assignment of responsibility. Okay, user creation on this server is not possible, but if you want, you can very well create. Okay, first you have to enter the name, password, then save it. Again you have to enter the password and save it. Yeah, then only the status will change from this blank space to active. But on this system you are not allowed to, sorry, you are not allowed to create any user. Then assignment of responsibilities over here. Now we understand the organization structure. Okay. Before creating organization structure, you need to update two profile options. Update profile option for responsibility. Okay, that is the HR business group and HR security profile. These are the two profile option which you need to update. This need to be updated at the responsibility level. Responsibility is for HRMS, IT India, and another responsibility is the inventory, IT India. These are the two responsibilities under which you have to assign these two responsibilities. These two responsibility, what you will assign the value will be setup organization, the value. Okay, so this will be the profile. This is the value under which responsibility this. So we see what we assigned in the system admin only. Profile, system, responsibility, HRMS, IT India. Okay, HR business group. Okay. Here we already assigned the IT Corporation India, but here you have to set up business group, you have to assign. Okay, this to assign. Once you assign this, then you update the organization structure. Fourth step is to set up the organization structure. organization structure. So first it is coming is business group. Business group, it business group is used for HRMS module. This is the highest in the organization structure, highest level in the organization structure, used for HRMS module to create employees and other details. And this will be country specific. Suppose you have the implementations to be done in multi countries like India, Japan, China, Singapore. So each country will have their own business group, because business group employees are attached to the business group. Okay. Highest of structure based on each country. Okay. Once you complete this setup of business group, you have to again come this rest. Now here you have to give the name of the once the business group is set up, update business group is set up, update the profile option. This is what you have to do after business group setup. Second, after business group, it is the legal entity. Business group setup, you have to do HRMS or inventory responsibility. Legal entity, real life legal entity. Okay. You can use the legal entity configurator or GL. Legal entity. So first we see business group. Cancel. Go to HRMS Super User IT India. Under this, you have work structure. Under work structure, okay. First is the location also we have to create. Structure the location. It is address for business group or legal entity. Okay. Location. Under location, you create the address, name, description, then address detail over here. Then you have the shipping detail. This will be used in purchasing module, inventory module, cost management module, etc. Also in the AP module and AR module. And this inventory organization, AD location, tax codes, etc. So mostly we update the address here and save it. This is the address related details in the location form. So we have done the setup. IT India, Chennai. Address style India International. Address, time zone. Shipping details, IT India. Other details, we have not done any setup, inventory and other things. Okay. So this legal address checkbox is enabled only after when you assign this address to the legal entity. This is a disabled field over here. When you click on this, then only it will be going to use in the legal address field. So this we done the location setup. Close this window. Now second is the setting up business group. Under work structure, we completed location, then organization. Under organization, we have the description. Okay, either you can click on new, or you can very well create your own organization. Otherwise, click on find. IT corporation. You have to give name, type as a business group, date from which date it is active, location, the location we did the setup, we have to attach over here and save this information. Then you have to come and attach the organization classification as a business group. Click on enable, then save it again. First, you have to save by entering this information, the header part. Then you have to come organization classification, attach the classification and enable it, save it. Once you save it, click on others. This is the mandatory item business group information which you need to check. Click OK. Okay. This pop-up box will open. In this pop-up box, you have to see what is there. Okay. Short name, employee number generation, application number generation, contingent worker number generation, and all the related flex fields. Then you have the legislation code related to which country it is related to. So this is the reporting legal entity kind of thing. So you have the legislation code India to be assigned. Then your currency. You can very well assign the fiscal start year, minimum age of working, maximum age of working. Once you did all this setup, then you save, close it, save it by clicking on this save button or Control S and close this window. This is done the business group setup. After business group setup, you have to update the profile options the same way what you did here in the update profile option setup business organization. Here you have to update the business organization, business group, but the name of the business group, what you did the setup for these responsibilities. Okay. Now you create the legal entity. In the legal entity, either you can use legal entity configurator or GL responsibility. So it is the legal entity configurator. We are mostly legal entity configurator. Okay. If we go here, it is okay. Click on legal entity. You can very well click on create legal entity, or you can very well search for the legal entity. Okay. So here our legal entity is showing. It will show two types of entities, legal entity and one is the establishment. One legal entity can have multiple establishment. How? We will see this one. Okay. Suppose we let's say Infosys Limited. Infosys Limited has the legal office and everything. A legal entity. It is a legal entity with the office address, legal office address as Bangalore, because it has the registered office in the Bangalore. So when we create the legal entity, we very well create this with the legal address. Okay, legal entity with the legal address. Now, the same legal entity will be an establishment also. Along with this establishment, you will have establishment like it is operating from Chennai as well. So Chennai establishment, if it is operating from Pune as well, Pune is Hyderabad, Delhi, Chennai, all these locations will come under the establishment region. Okay, so this is one thing. So if it is asking for create establishment or create legal entity, so very well it is possible one legal entity can have multiple establishment. So legal entity setup is also done. The ledger setup. Under the ledger setup, we have to consider currency first. Currency. Under currency, all ISO currency available. No need to create currency. Okay, except there is a reason that you create a currency where the currency is the new and it is getting created. This is happening in the real world also. Like, let's take the case of Venezuela. Venezuela current country in 2015, the currency was VEF. In 2018, it was VES. So you have to create this currency because VEF is the international currency which is already the setup in the system. But in 2018, we have to create the VES by ourselves. And that's the reason you use the currency creation in the before the ledger setup. So currency done. Calendar. Calendar is the you have to define the type of calendar. Type of calendar. Like monthly, weekly, quarterly, quarterly, etc. Okay, type of calendar you will define. Then you will define the accounting calendar. Okay, in the when you define the accounting calendar, there are two types: calendar year or fiscal. Okay, calendar, when you are going to use the Jan to December as a calendar year. Fiscal means when you have a different from the calendar year. Let's say in India, we have April to March. So calendar. Then next comes the accounting convention. Accounting convention is your rules of accounting. Rules of accounting. Right now we are using standard one, but when you get experience, there is a very well reason to customize this accounting convention, rules of accounting. Then last we come the chart of accounts. Chart of accounts is the combination of segments to generate a unique accounting combination. Okay. Here we will have the multiple segments. Let's say we have the company. Once you define this company and chart of account structure, this chart of account structure can be used for all the group level, so it will not be impacted. So what is the reason we are using a global chart of account? Global chart of account and local chart of account. There are two types of chart of account. Okay. Global chart of account we use in order to standardize the reporting format. Let's say we have operations in China, Japan, Singapore, and India. If we assign local chart of account for each and every country, so in let's say sales account for India will be 800, for China will be it is 5,000. Then your Singapore it is 100. Like this will be the account number. So as a manager of the accounting, when you will be asked that could you please report me the sales of the three countries in APAC region, India, China, and Singapore, it will be very difficult for you to first you have to get all the information from their subordinates and everyone, and get individually you have to look for under which account the sales is going. But when you use the global chart of account, everything will go under the same account. Okay. Now you wonder, if everything is going under the same account, then how you will segregate these values? That how you will come to know that which amount is related to India and China and Singapore. So in that case, you have the with the account. Now it is the account level. Now we have the company attached to it. Company. For company India, we have IN1, CN1, SG1. So with the account, you have company code is also attached. And that's the reason you will be able to segregate the values in the Sales account. Sales account is just one account for us. It is 800. But if you want to know what is the value for India and China and Singapore, you must look account with a company code. Okay, and that's the reason we have the company code. Company code is the balancing segment where the debit equals to credit will be happening. It is not at the account level, but it is at the company level. Likewise, you have other segments you can use to identify what is the sales. Okay, sales now it is related to which product by sales account. So you can very well use the product of the organization as a segment. Okay, this was the account. Okay, this was the account segment. Okay, now you want to segregate into the company, which country it is, how much. So we are using company. Now we have the product wise. Company is selling that how much amount we received in each region for the consulting. So in the product you will mention as consulting. Okay. Now product is gone. Next comes the you may have multiple products. Okay, right now I'm using why we need a multiple segments. Why can't just the 800 as a sales account and we can manage this? There is a possibility. Okay, now you need the sales. Suppose you have been asked sales by cost center. Okay, let's say cost center is the, let's say we say it, cost center is the segment we use to accumulate the cost in one account and then distribute this based on the cost center or function. Here we can use the function. Okay, let's say under which department how much is the sales for consulting. Okay, department or function. Okay, department or function. So let's say we are doing the consulting under multiple departments, and let's say manufacturing we have and retail segments we have, under which all segments we are doing all this activity. So your company wants to know under which department or function I am doing the sales. Okay, let's say I just want to know sales department related all the sales figure. Okay, so you can use the sales as a department. Okay, so mostly this department and function we used for cost function. Okay, cost function, but it is very well can be used for the profit function also, or revenue. But revenue function will be less effective than cost function. Suppose we want to know the cost of each department. This is very well use department directly. Okay, and with the company code, no need to give the product. But if I just want to know revenue by each function, then here the cost function will not be working. But if I have a consulting as a product, I will have one more sub product or division of consulting or market of consulting, etc., etc. Yes, we can also give here the region. Okay, region. Okay, I want to know the south region of India. How much is the sale? So South India will be one region. Okay, like which will have North India, complete China. Okay, how much is the sales? Complete Singapore, how much is the sale? Likewise. So whatever be the reporting you need, just for the legal reporting, you just need an account with the balancing segment and cost function. Okay. But what all the management is needing, management's needs is there. Let's say management want to have multiple segments, the reason for like cost function, revenue function, the management wants to know how much is the sale for each region, or if you are using customer or supplier at the chart of account level, then very well you can draw the chart of account based on the customer and supplier also. So that's the reason we need multiple segments. So we have company, location, function, account, sub account, product, project, region, and let's say let's say future one, future two. Okay, likewise. So you can have all these segments enabled and use very well. But for the practice purpose, you can use just a minimum of segments which will allow you to work faster and properly. So likewise, you will have all these segments in the chart of account. Once chart of account structure is set up done, all these forces setup is done, then you proceed for the ledger setup. In the ledger, you will give options, and then under the ledger setup, you are done for this activity, all this activity. Then next we proceed for operating unit. Okay. This activity you are doing from the GL responsibility. Okay. This also you can do very well, GL responsibility or HRMS or inventory. Okay. So operating unit, it is the partition of, it is used for partition of data. Suppose, as I told you, you have the operations of Infosys Limited throughout the India, and you want to segregate the data of Chennai from Bangalore and to other locations. And Bangalore will have access to all the locations, expenses and revenues. So in this case, it comes the partition of the data. So you will assign the operating unit and partition the data for subledger modules like accounts payable, accounts receivable, inventory, purchasing. All this will be using the operating unit to partition the data. So you will define as many as your operating units are available. Okay. In the operating units, after operating unit, we have inventory organization. Okay, if you are just using there is inventory organization is the location of your plant or inventory location, etc. Okay, inventory organization is the setup of which need to be done for all in the R12 version. Okay, when you have the fusion model, there it is not mandatory if you are not if you are not dealing with the inventory related item. But when if you want to use the purchasing module or any other inventory related module to track the fixed assets and etc., you must complete the inventory organization setup. That is for sure. So inventory organization setup, this you will do from HRMS or inventory responsibility. No error. So inventory organization setup you will do to segregate the each plant location of the inventory. Warehouses also it will come inventory location. So you did all this organization structure setup. Location, business group, legal entity, general ledger, operating unit, inventory organization. Now, fourth point gone. In the fifth point, update profile option. This activity need to be done for all responsibilities. All responsibility. What is the profile option name? HR business group, HR security profile, GL ledger name, MO operating unit. Okay, this four profile option is the basic profile options which you need to update it for all the responsibilities. And this will be what? Business group name. Here also business group name, then ledger name, then operating unit name. Okay. This setup you have to do. After doing all this setup, on the 6th, you open the GL period. Open the GL period. Okay. Here, pass the journal entry to check if all the setup done is working as expected. Okay. 6th is gone. Then just tell me. Hello.
Operating unit, we have
Your voice is breaking.
operating unit. So we are already segregating on this chart, no, everything.
Your voice is still breaking. Can you just type your message on the chat window?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. In this segment, we are defining in chart of account. Okay, we are segregating the data, but why we need the operating unit first to do the subledger transactions. Subledger transaction only can be done using the operating unit, not directly to the ledger. Okay, each module is treated as its operating unit, a kind of a ledger for each module. Okay, so the data partition is really necessary, because if we use, there is a multi-org access control, one setup is there. You can very well access all the organizations, whatever you are doing the setup throughout the world. Say Infosys Limited sitting in the Bangalore, you can very well check the details of your US entity, Japan entity, Singapore entity. How? Using the multi-org access control. This is very well possible. But for that, there is some different setups are there where you have the profile options to be added, and it will work very well. And you have to create some security profiles where you have listing of all the business or operating units inside there. So once you assign these profile options with the updated security profile, it will allow you to access all the operating units. Operating units is just to segregate the data between the multiple establishments, because establishment we do not have control over here. We are just using as a location, but still we can define each establishment as a legal entity, so that company code, so that it will generate the trial balance for us. Okay, so you cannot directly post data to the ledger from accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash management, fixed assets module. You must segregate all this by operating unit. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So our basic GL setup and org structure setup all done. There is nothing to do right now, anything. Next is the accounts payable setup. On the accounts payable, okay, accounts payable, you need to create the responsibility first. Then second is the assign responsibility. Then third is the update profile option. Under update profile option, you have to update all this Okay, you have to update all this. Then you need to go to fourth number, financial option setup. Then fifth is the payable system option setup. Sixth is the payable option setup. These three option setup you have to do. Then you need a employee setup. Then on 8 number, assign employee to user in user screen. Okay, you have to go in the system administrator and update this assignment of employee to the user. Ninth, create supplier. 10th, open period. 11, you have create enter invoice, credit memo, prepayment. On 12th,
So can we have this module revision in next class, sir? Because till this initial setup now, this open GL period.
yes.
So let me do this first. Then if I have some doubts, I'll ask you.
Okay, then
If I come till near this, then I can follow up with you with the regular class now.
okay, then we'll do one thing. We'll keep the revision class only on your weekend classes. Okay.
Hmm.
Weekday classes, we will complete the other module. Okay.
Okay.
So we completed the basic setup revision. Now accounts payable, I already listed down the activities to be done, but okay, we'll do revision of this accounts payable class in our next weekend class. So your next class is going on Monday. On Monday, we will start with the fixed assets module. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, and when your next class will happen on weekend, then we will go through the payables accounting setup again. Okay.
Okay.
So we are done with the today's class. Then we have nothing to do the new section. We'll cover the
Can you show me that first item, sir?
first item.
Yeah, from the first page, from first. Yeah, this one.
Okay, I have showed you this responsibility creation, user creation and assignment of update of profile options. Organization structure, I showed you location and business group. Okay, then legal entity. Legal entity, we were on the legal entity page. Okay, if you click on create legal entity, you have to give the details.
This legal entity configurator, will all the user have, or this is a customized one?
No, it is the response. No, all the users will not have. This is based on the system administrator, like who will create what, who will do what kind of setup. This is not will be given to everyone.
Okay.
So you have this legal entity. Click on legal entity. Create legal entity. Under create legal entity, you have to first change the territory under which territory this legal entity will come. Then you give the details of the legal entity name, organization name, identifier. You can give some random numbers, PAN number of your legal entity. Then legal address, select the address or you can create the address. So we have created location. We are going to use the same.
Sir, while creating this, create new address, no? Error while creating new address, error comes like address code does not match or something. So where should we check that?
Okay, if you are getting any error, you just Google it. Okay, on the Google page, you go and give that while creating a new address for legal entity, you are getting so and so message in Oracle R12. If you like give this in the search criteria, you will get lots of access to documents where they will be confirming what kind of error it is and what is the issue with this and how to resolve it.
Okay.
Okay, but that is the reason I created the address first and coming over here and selecting the existing address. The exact procedure, if you follow, you will not face any issue. But this is the possible also create new address that there is no issue. What a kind of error you are getting, that is need to look into, like why you got this error.
This address we can create in the responsibility where creating location, is it?
Yes, sir. In the location page, that address only I created. Na?
Okay.
Once I attach that address to this here legal address, then only the legal address checkbox will get enabled on the legal entity. So if you
I thought address should be created in this legal
no
entity
no no
cell.
no 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 the address can be created over here also. There is no issue. Okay, address can be created over here. If you go to setup also, you can very well create address over here also. And you can create the location also and use that location as a legal address for setting up legal entity also. So there are multiple ways to do it. I am doing it a different way. Somebody else will be doing it a different way.
Okay.
So here you will do the legal entity setup. The next part was the ledger setup. In the ledger, we already have the GL responsibility. We have to go to the GL responsibility, close this window. GL super user IT India. Okay, we have setup access, currencies. Okay, under currency, define. If you have the new currency, you can very well define. Otherwise, do not define any currency like these people are defining here. It is wrong. If it is already all the ISO certified currency codes are available, then why you need to define the new currency code? See, some people are defining INR for Bangalore different, INR for Syed will be different. So this is not a good practice. Already INR is there. You can very well use that. You can very well change the symbol over here. Okay, you can very well change the symbol over here. That is possible. But if INR is already there, why you need to create it? So no need to create any currency until unless it is required. So currency is done. Then we have the calendar. First is the type. Okay, under the type, it is the period type, like which calendar period type you want to use it. There are many setups are here available, but you can very well do your own setups. Monthly, weekly, fiscal calendar, calendar year type will be either fiscal or calendar year. All this will be here. So you do this period type setup, like period type, how many what is will be a name of the period, how many period in that will come, 13, 14, 15, 16, 52, 53, as per your convenience. Year type, either it is a calendar year or fiscal year. Then description, 12 periods plus one adjustment or two adjustment or three adjustment period. So this after you complete the period type defining, you go to the accounting. Okay, and define the your accounting calendar. We defined over here IT corporation monthly. Under the monthly, we defined here Jan, Feb, March, and periods and the quarter and the number. And if any adjusting period, then we defined the adjusting period also. That is my 13th period. After 12th period, it is monthly reporting I created. There are companies who use weekly calendar setup also to proceed for accounting activities. So you have to define this accounting calendar. We definitely have the transaction calendar also. Here transaction calendar, you can define the business days and other things, which we do not use it mostly. Okay, so after defining calendars, under the setup, we have to now go to the flex fields. Flex fields key and descriptive. Descriptive flex fields to capture the additional information which Oracle does not provide us any field to capture it. Let's say you want to capture the tariff of your you deal in INR currency only, but your tariff currency is in US dollar. Okay, like Infosys Limited, they charge per hour $50 US to a client, but they have to invoice in India INR currency only. So you want to capture that US dollar, but there is no field available on the customer invoicing side. So what you will do, you will capture this information in descriptive flex field, which is very well can be defined. Key flex fields already available. Some fields will be there, which you will use to define the segment structure and etc. So under flex fields, you have to go into the key flex fields. Under key, you have to define first the segment. First segment, our application general ledger, and flex field title is accounting. So you have lots of structure you can see here. We will go to our structure. IT corporation chart of account, this one. Okay, So if we go inside the segment, we have the company, location, function, account, intercompany, and future. We have created this many segments, segment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we created value set. Value set is the characteristics of the value. Okay, what value you will use in the company segment and all these segments, it will be coming over from value set. Value set will have the characteristics of the each value. Either it is a numeric, alphanumeric, or how many characters, 3 characters, 4 characters, 10 characters, like this, and displayed and enabled. So once you complete all this setup, then you have to assign the flex field qualifiers. So for company, we have assigned balancing segment. You see here, checkbox is enabled, balancing segment. If you are not doing this, you will not be able to post transactions. Then you have the location. We have not defined anything for the location. We have the function. For function, we have defined is the cost center. Then account, we defined the flex field as a natural account segment. And intercompany, flex field qualifier as a intercompany segment.
Location, which qualifiers, sir?
Location, nothing is defined. But okay, if you want, you can define it as also a cost center, but you have to remove the cost center from the function.
So one only allowed.
Yeah, only one qualifier to the one segment is allowed.
Okay.
So once you complete this structure, you have to click on allow dynamic insert, freeze flex field definitions. After that, you have to click on compile. Compilation means it will check all the characteristics and all the details and validate that everything. So once you define
this cross validate and this freeze roll up, what's the purpose, sir?
This we will discuss in the GL module once we come back again to the GL module. Cross validate segments means suppose you cannot use sales and marketing related account with the HR department. Okay. I am a marketing expenses. I cannot use it with the HR department, but I can use that with the sales and marketing department. This is called the cross validation of segments. If I define this rule, if I enter HR department with the marketing account, marketing expense account, it will give an error that this is not possible.
Okay.
It will give you an error. But when you enter the correct combination of HR account with the payroll account, or sales marketing department with the marketing expense account, then it will allow you. So that is the function of cross validate the segments. So some companies use it, some company doesn't use it. If and allow dynamic insert means you can very well create your own combinations, and if this is not enabled, your company has predefined all the accounting combinations. We will discuss this one also in our GL class only. So once you completed the structure, you have to define values. Under value, you have the value set. Go to the value set, IT company. Okay, IT corporation company. Then you have this value 00 default value C1 IT private limited. Likewise, you have to define the value set for all this function also. Function we have defined admin, finance, HR, IT, purchasing, sales, etc. And you can very well define after start of the business also. Likewise, you have to define the values. After defining values only, you move to accounting setup manager. In the accounting setup manager only, you create the ledger. Okay, so it is asking for create accounting setup. You click on create accounting setup, it will ask you to assign legal entity. If you have already created a legal entity in the legal entity configurator, click on this add button and assign the legal entity over here. If you have not created legal entity, you can very well click on create legal entity and proceed further. So this is another way of creating legal entity. Or you can very well go to legal entities and create legal entity over here, and then come into the accounting setup, create accounting setup, and then add the row, and you can proceed for the legal entity assignment. Once legal entity assignment, you have to do some accounting representation and save the accounting structure. Here you will attach the currency, calendar, chart of account structure to your legal entity and all the setup. So we see what we have done. Okay. So we have defined this two is not completed because it is not correct, but this two is completed and it is the correct one. So IT India ledger we defined and we attach the USD reporting currency, and that's the we have the reporting currency type ledger. So if we see update accounting options, under update accounting options, we have legal entity setup. Legal entity is attached, and balancing segment, under which balancing segment it is going to account for our debit equals to credit. Then the ledger setup, under the ledger setup you have multiple options to be assigned. We will see that options. Okay, this are the details: accounting calendar, accounting method, year-end processing of retained earning, suspense account posting, journal approval, journal entry with the tax and currency translation, journal reconciliation, budgetary control, average balance processing, and translation option. So once we come into the GL module, we will very well define all this and see what we can achieve with these functions. Right now I have done just the basic setup. Once you complete this, you can go to a reporting currency, then balancing segment value. You should not do anything over here. If we go here, we see at the legal entity level, we can see that company code, the balancing segment is assigned. So you should not assign this option here. This is not required. You just click on complete once you land on this page. Okay, then you have the subledger options. Just click on complete for everyone. Operating unit, you can define operating unit over here. And you can very well define operating unit in org, inventory and other responsibility in attach over here. Then intercompany, just click on complete. Sequencing, just click on complete. So our ledger setup is done. Once the ledger setup is done, you have to move forward with the update of the profile option. You have to update all these profile options for all the responsibility. So mostly GL responsibility, you are going to do it. And you assign these profile options and then proceed with the open the GL period and pass the journal entry. Any doubt on this?
No, sir.
Okay. So if you have any doubt, we'll cover this in our next.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then we wind up this session, and I will share. Okay, I sent you that link, but it is not going, unfortunately. So I will today update the today's video and will send you an updated link for the all the videos access from day one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.